Hello and welcome to A Day of Light and Love. I'm making this video specifically to let you know why. Why did I found this event over 5 years ago? Back in 2017, I was recalling, I think I was working with a client, and it brought to mind, she was someone who was going through um, a first year of divorce. So she was post-divorce, looking at the holidays that were coming up, anticipating that there would be some feelings of loneliness, mourning not just the end of the relationship, but the shifting of traditions that follows any relationship transition, be it a relationship that you might have with your family. Some people have falling outs with their family. Sometimes the death of a parent, the death of a child. Death oftentimes ushers in changes. And I was relaying to her how important it was for me back in 1985 when I went through my divorce. So a lot of you know of Denny, my husband of almost 35 years, who passed last year. And we enjoyed just a phenomenally wonderful relationship that we grew we grew through and into and beyond many levels that we ever perceived were even possible. But back in 1985, none of that existed in my current reality. And I was making my way with two young boys and wanting, of course, to transition and make this Christmas that was coming up, make it as normalized in some level of new normal for them. And if you have ever been a single parent, oftentimes your needs are put last. They're there, and they lie latent sometimes, but they're there and they have to be acknowledged. And I was relating to this client how back in 1985, a friend, kind of a friendly acquaintance, who had interviewed me for a news article back then. And we had developed a friendly acquaintanceship as a result of that interview. And she had invited me to her home for dinner with the people that she was going to be assembling there on Christmas Day, because she knew that my boys would be with me on Christmas Eve and they would be with their dad on Christmas Day. And this was like a first, that I wouldn't have my children with me on Christmas Day. She anticipated what I would need ahead of me even knowing that I needed it. And I thanked her and declined. I thanked her and declined and said, thank you, but I'm not going to I don't think that I'm going to need that. I really believe I'm going to be okay. She said, well, at any point of the day, even if it's after dinner, please come by and visit me and Ernie. Her name was Betty Baylog. And as it turns out, midday Christmas Day, I realized if I continued to stay home, I was going to get deeper into a space that felt very dark and I felt very alone. My family lived, 5 hours away, lived at a distance. And I was pretty much there by myself while all other people were celebrating with their family. And I got my clothes on and I drove to her house. And this was way before cell phones and texting and all that stuff. We didn't send emails back then. I just knocked at her door and there was no one there. They had all left except for her. She was there and Ernie was there, and they welcomed me in. And it wasn't about the food, it was about the supportive conversation. And I stayed for a couple of hours and I thanked her. She transitioned years ago and she created such a profound imprint on my heart. It's difficult to talk about it because it was so significant. And there's so many people that during this season will experience that. And they may not have a Betty Baylog to invite them in. So in 2017, I realized I need to create an event. I didn't really know the people who were going to be part of the event very well. I just met them online, most of them online, through different online business groups and courses that I was doing. And they raised their hand and said, absolutely, we'll contribute. And over the years, we've had many contributors and many that'll contribute this year. This will be their 5th year with me, offering the world, whoever needs to hear it, messages of hope, messages of wisdom, messages of uplifting, messages that might contain some answers that a person can extract and apply in their own life. So we're coming live. It will be from 12 a.m. Eastern time, Christmas Day. It will be almost every hour. I think we have 18 contributors, and it'll be almost every hour throughout Christmas until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The people that are giving their time and giving their wisdom and bringing their messages are amazing individuals from really all over the world. Many are based in Europe, many are based in South America or Central America. You will glean something from it. So I invite you to join us for whatever segment, and you can always come back and revisit the broadcast or the recordings of the broadcast. But that's the reason why. That's the message behind. Now on Christmas Eve, I will have a robust experience here at my home. I'm hosting like 12 people that are my family members, children, their spouses, grandchildren, a couple friends, and they'll all be here. So I'll have a very full holiday, and then I'll join you guys, who's ever going to plug in, tune in. I'll join you. I'll be hosting every conversation with some wonderful, beautiful individuals that are going to give part of their Christmas to the world. So that's the why behind the Day of Love and Light, and I sure hope you join us.